My name is Mr. Andersin, and I am the voice of Written Sins. And right now, we're going to be talking about the amazing, red-hot Kickstarters ongoing right now for you guys to pledge and support. Let's get to the list. It's time to fall in love with these Kickstarters. We're going to start with our pick of the week, The Fourth Monkey. The Fourth Monkey is an anthology of over 30 creators showcasing their different projects, from alcoholism to poaching to ocean pollution, suicide, alcoholism, pesticides, mental abuse, online bullying, and political polarization. Tons of projects, amazing stuff going on. Please, please, please check that one out. We're going to talk more about that, of course, in a minute when we get to the show. Every dollar counts. We talk about this every week. So what does every dollar count mean? That means that you guys are very supportive of us, and we appreciate it. But sometimes you guys are like, well, I don't have a lot of money. Or, you know what? I like you, Rob, but I'm not really into fetish babies because I don't like fetish. That's cool. I get it. But you want to be my friend. You want to be a cool guy. You want to support me, and I like that too. So here's a great way to support me. The way to support me is to give me $1 single. And here's why it matters. When you give me $1 single, I then have the ability to have your friends list that's on Kickstarter go out and know that you're backing my project. And by you knowing, and by them knowing that you're backing my project, they think it's cool. They think it's a great project, which I think personally, mine is a great project. With that said, I want to also illuminate the fact that you guys have to understand that every dollar counts also means that every person who puts $1 single also raises the count on the amount of people who are supporting your project, which could become important later if you're looking for a publisher on the said project. The dollar amount is important, but so is the backer amount. If you have two people who raise $1,250, it's going to look funny. Not looking funny is No Road Home by my good friend and co-collaborator, Charlie or Chuck Pinu. I'm always saying that wrong. I'm sorry, Chuck. But this is an amazing post-apocalyptic American Renaissance. What happens after all the apocalypse is done? What happens next? Well, find out with sword, spells, and monsters and mutants will rise up to create a new world. War is hell. So this is an amazing Kickstarter idea where you have Chess and Cerebrus, a dual Kickstarter. Get two amazing books in one Kickstarter. Kind of a cool idea. It's not a double-sized issue. It's two completely different comic books sitting on their own. So check out War is Hell. We're going to go more into that in a minute. Now, everyone talks about kneeling at a football game. That's everything that talks about. But you know what we're not talking about? We're not talking about how we could support the veterans outside of the noise that is the weekly digest of news. We need to figure out how to make sure that our veterans have jobs when they come home, and they have the health care they need, and all the other things that we can support them with. And that all starts by you guys getting active. And the Veterans Wife program can help by, getting you to become an advocate for veterans and caregivers. So check out the Veterans Wife program on Facebook and help them out today. Support the R4 and Autistic Jedi with these patches to show your support. Speaking of showing support, Fetish Babies Aftermath, it has that as now a tier. And just for you guys, we're announcing it now. It's not even on Kickstarter. This amazing art by Chris Madd will be now available for the Kickstarter as of later today. This is breaking on this show. By the time those of you guys watching a repeat, it will be able to be gotten already. We're going to be doing it as a photography 8x10. It's easier to ship. We had a lot of problems with 11x17 and 8x10. You can also keep with your book. So this is going to be an amazing thing. I might get it printed. We're gonna look at some printing things. Either way, there'll be a signature of mine on it if you guys want. I'll ask that when we send out the rewards. We're already halfway funded, so this is our reward for getting 50%. Very excited. That we're going to talk about more. Pixie Dust, an epic fantasy hardcover from my good friend Russell. Great guy. It's on the show today. We're going to talk more about that. Ace Blade 3, the undercard. is not an undercard and performing. We're going to find out more about this amazing project. Beware of this of the Were Spider now on Kickstarter. We're going to talk about this amazing creation. This is just our last Kickstarter video, which you can find from the last week's show, and we'll update it at the end of this show to be this video for this week. Red Tide is a crime comic about Trevor Alley and his fight to survive the Buckhead's Island. We're going to find out what that means in a video in a few minutes. Follow the Wave. It's a high seas adventure tale of love and revenge brought to life in this beautiful crafted graphic novel one-shot. We're going to find out more about the Wave when we check it out in a few minutes. And finally on the show today, we have Michael Metlin's The Butcher, a 4-part comic book series that is now on Kickstarter. We're going to see Michael Metlin, for those of you who remember the name, you can't place it, did Kane, very interesting book that we did a review of last year. Excited to see him come to Kickstarter. This is his first trip onto the platform. And finally, we had one more. I didn't even realize that. We have the PIS, the Paranormal Investigation, Investigator Showdown comic book. We're going to find out what that is. All of this is brought to you by Written Sins, who asks, are you one of us? Are you someone who's tired of the reboot culture? Are you tired of the same old bullshit? If you are, then you are one of us. So subscribe to Written Sins, our Facebook pages and Facebook group, where if you put something in our Facebook group, we'll put it on our site. That is it for the program's list. You can now fast forward to the different type of topic or project that you wanted by going ahead by a few seconds. Usually everyone gets about 60 seconds. We're going to start our program off with the fourth monkey.
Fourth Monkey, an anthology for awareness, is a 100-page book featuring 8 short stories centered around environmental and social issues. The contributing creators picked subjects based on that central theme, some with very personal ties, and went to work telling their stories, combining fantastic storytelling with beautiful art. There are problems in the world, we can't possibly tackle them all. Fourth Monkey is our attempt to tell stories that are pulled right out of the hearts of the creators. Awareness to them. And while you may feel stronger about some than you do others, the quickest way to someone's heart is their story. So if you finish the book with some anger towards the way things are, the slightest thirst for some more knowledge, or were simply entertained, then I like to think we did our job.
All right, so I'm part of this project, as you guys have known, and if you don't know, you should know that I'm part of this project. We're going to scroll down here, see some of the amazing, cool stuff. Tide. Sorry, Dark Waters is Ocean Pollution. That's by James and Huss. Actually, I have a video trailer for that. Okay, we have one for the Poacher. We don't have one for the Poacher. So the Poacher is Painted Prey. That's by Daniel, excuse me. And Chris Mad, good friend of mine. I just saw him at New York Comic Con, as a matter of fact. He gave me the art that's coming up. So Chris Matt is technically on now 2 Kickstarters himself. A lot of us have been on 2 Kickstarters of that. It just goes to show you how busy the creators on this oh, excuse me. on this project have been, that we're actually always doing our thing and getting our projects out there. It is an amazing time to be a creator, and being able to do these anthologies are an amazing thing. No Going Back, that's by my good friend Brian Hawkins. If you remember, he did the American Kingdom. Just a fantastic job, perfect timing for it. And we have the artist Christopher Harris. I don't really know him that well. So Empty Bottles, this is from Kelly Benner and Raphael Arcana, and Thomas is the colorist. We have something in The Scout from Pesticides. That's by Madeline, who did the Boston Metaphysical Society. So just an amazing amount of creators as we keep going. And you also have Ed and Coat on this one. Now, Bob Sally, you'll see a video for this that I actually have coming out. It talks about this. So here's the thing. We don't have a lot of intro in this. And because I was with Bob Sally, I actually know a little bit about this now because I asked him about it. So here's the premise. What happens when a superhero has spent so much time almost abusing, not almost, but really abusing. I mean, if you think about some of the ways that the sidekicks are treated by the hero, you know, it is kind of abuse. You know, it is really kind of messed up what they put them through sometimes. And I think that's what Young Justice was all about, too, in a way. Not as much the abuse, but the in that regard, it was the not the acknowledgement of the importance of the partnership for them. But I mean, just amazing stuff. Speaking of amazing, my project, I actually wrote this with James Eric Hodson. Great, I mean, fantastic artist. He's worked for Topps on some great properties. Just an amazing guy. I couldn't be more thrilled to have worked with him on this. I think it was very important. I wrote it before everything went down with that one case, so it was exciting to work on the project, and a little scary to see it come true. Not that I didn't think it could come true in that regard, but just watching it come true was kind of weird. And then Rats in the Kitchen. This is Political Polarization by Russell and Nick. And here's some great alternative art that you guys can get. This one here is by Francisco. This is by Huss. This is by Andrew. Andrew's amazing. Right here you got the Fourth Gorilla pin up by Joey McIntosh. Then we have the May the Fourth Be With You. This is the funny one that if you backed it really early, you were able to get this. These are some newer ones that have been added recently. Stan Yank did that. Here are the featured creators. You got James E. Roach. You got Daniel Farrand. HD is the letterer. Bob Sally, you guys know him from Salvagers, just broke the piggy bank on Kickstarter with his amazing last project. The Salvagers trade. I forgot if it was volume 4 or volume 3, but he just got off of Kickstarter. Brian Hawkins was just actually on the show a few seconds ago watching. Ed Jimizzi is also an up-and-coming. He did Unit 44. We got Chris Mad, just an amazing artist. Once again, you'll see more of his artwork on my Kickstarter as he's now a reward. Huss Oskin, great creator. He's worked on Hellraiser and 5 Ghosts. James Eric Hudson. We talked about the Topps. He worked on the Star Wars cards. And Chad the Fat Kid, just an amazing artist. You got Josh Jensen, who's a colorist, worked on Snarl. Kelly Bender has worked on a lot, including Snarl, Cyberforce, and Cyberforce Artifacts. You got colorist Coat Caragel, Cluster and Deliverance, Madeline Holly Rousing, was a writer of the Boston Metaphysical Society. You got Nicholas Torres, who did Fear Diaries and Franklin and Ghost. Raphael Andre is an artist. You have me, who's done Jax the Andersin. Jax the Andersin, You Are Not Alone, Volume 3 and 4 I'm part of. One I'm a letterer in, one I'm an actual writer of a project in. You have, and they call us monsters, you have Fetish Babies Aftermath, and a handful of projects coming soon, including this one. Russell Notel, he's actually on the show today with another Kickstarter. He's another one of us who has a Kickstarter going at the same time. Pixie, we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes, but he also did Monsters and Other Scary Shit. You got Stan Yank. Stan Yank did the Box Masters and the Skeleton Inspectors. Shauna Mad got to hang out with her. Great cosplay at New York Comic Con. She's the colorist on the project with Chris Mad and Danielle. Daniel, like, I don't know, that dyslexia makes things sometimes harder than it should be with certain names. I don't understand it. My mind knows how it sounds, still says it wrong. I apologize. Thomas Marajanovic. I know I'm pronouncing that wrong. Let's try there. Great artist. You guys can see there's some amazing rewards here. Some of them have unfortunately ran out, but there are still great ones that you can get your hands on right now. Here's the digital reward creator bundle. Don't know why I got left out of it. Not that hurt. Don't have feelings. I left them in a box. But seriously, I mean, kidding aside, you could have the Fourth Monkey, the Wretches, Katrina, Snarl, Boston Metaphysical Society, which is great, Untold, which is great, Salvages, which is great, American Kingdom, all great titles. All great. All these titles are great. You can have that for $15 in a creator's bundle. How could you not want to support that? You can get the physical reward. You can get the physical reward with the actual 7 digital comics, and it goes on and on. There's some great rewards in this project. And you also get these cool sketch cards, which people have, I think it's only one artist. Okay, it's not people, it's Ryan. Ryan actually took the idea of the different comics and came up with something. I don't know if I necessarily call my thing about trolling as a very accurate one. It's a cool depiction of it, but it also leaves out the fact that we're talking also about the individual idea what freedom of speech is and how it doesn't apply necessarily online. Because if you read the Freedom of Speech Act, it's not actually covered. The quickest answer to why freedom of speech is not covered online is because you agreed to terms and conditions to be online. You're never online without accepting terms and conditions. So technically, no, freedom of speech is not covered online, which is something the book talked about. We had to cut some of it out. It's only 10 pages for each one of our stories. Who knows? Maybe me and James will do a director's cut one day in the future. We'll do a bigger story about it, maybe an expanded one. Or there's also talk about doing another one of these. So who knows? Maybe we'll do a sequel about the characters and see where they are in 2 or 3 years, or, you know, it's always a possibility to talk about it more. I love the new monkey. It's Uncle Sam Monkey. That's a great one. Just, I mean, amazing creators came together and made an amazing project. And this is the one, this is one of those projects you guys want to be part of. I mean, 30 creators. 30 creators. This took so long to talk about because there's so much to talk about. I could still talk about it. We are within $422. Be the people that we are looking to get supported by. Be the people that are, be our supporters, be our backers, be the people who make this project come to life. It's an amazing project. I'll tell you, it's just worth it for my story alone. I'll put my ego out there. My story alone sells the whole book. But no, kidding around aside, it is very powerful. I got to talk to Bob Sally about it. I've gotten to talk to other creators about their part of it, and obviously I know my part of it. So I'm very thrilled about this project, and I'm very proud to be part of it. We do have to move on. I wish we could talk about it more, but it's time to talk about No Road Home. Let's go to the video.
Will this will hold your breath? Flakes of skips on the twig bed.
Hey everyone, I'm Trent, the president and CCO of Crank Angel Studios. Douglas Brown, a pencil maker and all-around creative guy. And not too bad looking, here working for you.
And now we actually have Charlie, who's joining us live, as you guys can see. So instead of going with the live video, we're going to go with Charlie, and we're going to let Charlie explain to us what his Kickstarter is. No pressure. Go for it.
I know, right? I was just watching you, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're here. This is No Road Home. I have nothing planned, people, so bear with me here. This is No Road Home. This is an awesome stepping on it. It's literally the first issue. It's an issue 0. It's an awesome stepping on point to a brand new world. I know that people say post-apocalypse all the time, and you get that, but we've taken that one step further. It's not a post-apocalyptic society. It's a post-apocalyptic renaissance. So after the bombs have gone, after all the shit has happened, this is 300 years later, and this is the world trying to better itself, trying to move beyond all that.
So now, how we live in a very difficult time politically with polarization and all that. Did that go into the writing of the story? Would you say that has affected you guys, or did it not really affect like how the structure comes later?
Oh, absolutely it did. Absolutely. I mean, there were some things that we were like, oh, I don't know if we want to touch that, just because there was some fear that you're not going to do it right, and that you're not going to give it the appreciation that it deserves. Like, I'll be honest, I grew up around a lot of Native Americans, but I don't feel comfortable writing and creating an all Native American society and doing it the justice that it deserves. And so we kind of stepped back and kind of left that kind of in the background, so that maybe when we do feel better about it, we can do something about it. But as far as like the world itself, I mean, the world, all the shit that is going on in our world right now, that very much inspired how our world ended.
All right, well, speaking of how the world ended, I don't want to give away spoilers, but I have to ask, does Facebook make it 300 years later?
Does what make it 300 years later?
Facebook. Did Facebook survive?
No, my man, there is no technology, there is no power, and that is actually something that's huge. The power is, they're just starting to develop Steam. They had a lot of like crank power, like kinetic power and whatnot, but that's about it. And that will be something that will definitely be dealt with as it goes forward.
So when writing something like this, how did you get brought on the project? Because are you the co-creator as well? Like, how did you become part of No Road Home?
No, Trent is very much the creator of this. Basically what happened was he was my cable man. And he showed up, and actually all the weird nerdy stuff in my house, he saw it and he was like, man, I'm going to pitch to this dude. And he did, and I was like, well, I've actually written my entire life. I've always wanted to take it seriously. And so that brought me on. And originally I was just going to help him out. And I guess he kind of saw something in me and went, no, man, you need to actually write this. So that was really cool of him to see something in me and to help me step up and do it. So
at this point in my career, first off, I just want to say, no, that's how you grind and hustle. You go to do your job and you're still selling your comic books. So credit to Trent, man. Because look at how that.
Absolutely. He is a mad grinder.
Yeah, that's amazing. But how is it to actually write something you didn't create? I've never had that yet. I've always been the creator of what I've written. Is that weird not to be able to make all the choices without getting Daddy's permission? You know?
No, that's a really good question. And I'm in the same boat you are. This is the first thing I've ever had to work on. So it was a little disconcerting at points. But there's also a bit of a freedom where you can just be like, look, you know what? He made his choice. And so all you can do is kind of argue to the best of your benefit what your points are. And I'll tell you, Trent's a really good collaborator. So he's been awesome about, there's been certain things where it's like, dude, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't know if this is going to work. And he's really good about listening. And letting me be heard and letting me mention my stuff. And I mean, you know, so we have a really good way of working together and setting that all up. So, I mean, it goes a couple ways. I've been able to have a lot of influence and say on it. He's not a dick. He's not someone who's just like, no, this is how it is. He gave me a very open idea of what it is and let me play in his world and let me play with his sandbox. And I've taken advantage of that. It's been a lot of fun.
So now let me ask you, does the clipboard really make you look busy?
Well, if you have the paper over top and you can't read it, yeah, it does.
Now, I know on this one, there are a couple digital reward packages, and there's actually another book that you worked on, Jax, the Andersin. Tell us about the other books that are involved in that, the digital reward package.
Okay, so the other one, and actually they're not just digital, you can actually get physical versions of them as well. The first one is Miss Johnny, written by Adrian Petty. And honestly, I don't know an awful lot about it. He has this really gritty, I've read some of his other stuff, and it's like a very gritty street level kind of stuff. So I like that. Like, he is someone that I would want to see doing like a Daredevil or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're going to see him doing Superman necessarily because it doesn't seem to play to his strengths. So it's a very, and usually there's a fair amount of race to it and all that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, you know, he's a black dude who was raised in Asia. He has a lot of great experiences to add to it. So it's been good for that.
That's cool. I mean, it's always nice to see different. I love indie packages where there are different books. You know,
Yeah.
I was all about, yeah, you can take Jax. You want anything else? You know.
And actually, I didn't mention the other one, and I would be remiss if I didn't. The other one is Stormy, and it has a very Dazzler feel to it. That's done by our It's really good stuff, and that's another one to check out too. I have to be honest, I haven't read that one yet. He and I are kind of talking about it and helping out and whatnot. Hey, Adrian just said hi. What's up, Adrian? So yeah, there's that's a really cool book to check out too. And like I said, these are guys who are really super freaking talented. They already have a lot of credits to their name and whatnot. So this will be stuff that you guys get to check out that you probably haven't seen yet.
I mean, it looks fantastic. This is a great project. You guys are funded, or are we? Last time I checked,
we just funded today.
Okay, I know we talked about it. You guys had suffered what a lot of us creators did: someone having to back out for various reasons.
Yeah.
And then you're suddenly left to scramble. But I know that when I talked to you, you were like, "Oh, we're gonna fund." Like, not even a doubt in your mind. You're like, "Oh, we'll be there."
Yeah.
And
I
it's
I wasn't worried. I mean, I knew it would happen. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, the first one we did, it was a failure. And it was a necessary failure. Trent and I learned so much from that, and it was a huge help. And so this one, I mean, what it taught me was that I needed to get a name. And so the first thing I did was, this awesome dude from Florida, he's like, oh, I need an editor. And I was like, fuck it, I'll do it for free. Let's go. And so I did that, started to make a name for myself. Meanwhile, Trent went out. He got some of his own money together. He paid for the first 5 pages because we knew we needed that. He found some great people to work on it. And so we all just kind of did our part to make it happen and to make all of our dreams come true.
In fairness to that editor from Florida, I believe he actually wound up making sure you got copies of the book.
He did. And I've been selling. You know what? I actually had to stop selling them because I want to have them when I have a booth. And so I sent out a bunch of copies, and honestly, people are fucking loving Jax. And sorry if I'm swearing too much, but they are loving Jax. Well,
in this program, there's no shit, motherfucker, or damn, but you're fine so far.
I can do those ones.
Well, thank you for being on the show. We got to move on to the next project, but you guys know now this is amazing creators who are very passionate in this project. So thank you for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, brother. Great talking to you finally.
All right, we'll talk soon. Later.
Bye.
All right, guys. So now it's always better to have a creator online. Obviously, you guys saw it. YouTube, you might not have saw Charlie's face during the interview. because that was a Facebook thing. But, you know, it's cool to be able to have people on Facebook too. We're trying to use that new technology. I like the fact that they do the cut screen now. It's the first time we got to use it. But we're going to talk about war. So let's go to war.
Indie Alliance.
It's one of those songs and videos that you kind of get into and you kind of get lost. I actually forgot to read some of it during it, so I kind of started headbanging. It was cool music. War is Hell, a Chess and Cerebros Kickstarter dual comic. All right, so it has officially been funded. I got to hang out with one of the creators, Paige, over the weekend. We met up at New York Comic Con. Great guy, very tall. You know, I'm not a small guy myself. But when I'm near someone who's like very tall, it's funny. Bob Sally's that way too. If you haven't met Bob Sally, there are certain people who just make you feel small, and it's uncomfortable. I'm almost 6 foot. Like I'm like just there at 6 feet, and to be able to like have these people tower over me, it's disconcerting. I feel like I'm in a wrestling ring. Or well, as a wrestler, I'd be tiny. But this is an amazing project. I got to meet the creator. Very passionate guy. You could tell that he loves creating. I'm very thrilled to be supportive of these guys. You know what? This is like a very high quality comic book in the art. You got to admit, this doesn't look like something that you would necessarily identify as indie comics. This looks like something that could be off of a main publisher. So, you know, this is one of those very, and there's Paige right there, Alfred. I got to meet him, and Andrew Hines. I'm in the Powerverse. This is all the different creators. You can watch that video. But I mean, they're launching this an amazing new universe. It looks like it's going to be fantastic. It's got great creators. It's got a lot of passion in it. They put together a great Kickstarter. You get some PDFs that you can get, risks and challenges. The only risk is for this is Kickstarter are the quality of the dark shirts. The print may not appear as clearly as we'd like. So, I mean, if you didn't get the shirt, you're not going to be affected. And I can understand that. Sometimes the shirts don't come out. I mean, you get that preview and you're pretty thrilled about it, and then it comes out and you're like, ew. So I'm very much a fan of this project. I mean, the art, and it's beautiful. I mean, you're looking at the art here, and you got to take a step back and just appreciate how powerful the art is in this. And, you know, art, for those of you following, you know, art's important to me in my projects. I'm very, very particular about the type of art and the use of the art I use to tell a story. I don't just pick an artist who will work with me for the right amount of money. I choose the right artists that I feel fit the stories. And I've removed artists that I didn't feel could. I love the doors open. They're all locked and unlocked. That's kind of cool. But I really do appreciate artists and how hard they work. So War is Hell, I mean, you see the quality here. So it's a fantastic thing. We're going to talk more about art as we swing over to Fetish Baby's Aftermath. Now, there is a video. I guess we can watch it.
What happened?
Sometimes surviving feels worse. I knew I was never in danger of dying, but I was in danger of having to live through those memories over and over again for years to come. A moment in time that I feared had stolen away my beloved fetishes.
What happened? Who is Bruce?
What's next?
What happened?
For months, people asked us after the release of Fetish Babies, what's next? Fetish Babies Aftermath is what's next. Come join us as the story goes into the after effects of a night gone wrong. Can Barbara regain the fetishes she feels are stolen from her? Is there a way for Barbara to live the lifestyle she's always dreamed of? Is this the end of Barbara and fetish altogether? Join us as we explore the answers in Fetish Babies Aftermath.
So we have gone now officially from, we started in, well, this project starts in New York City, New York Comic Con 2 years ago. And sorry. Just typing this about announcing Chris is here. So, like I said, let me just finish this. So typing wrong. All right. So I went from state to state with this book, and I did the impossible. I took one book with me, and with one comic book, I was able to make the cost of my tables. We started New York Comic Con with a free preview that was in the middle of Dark Justice and Gothic Blue, which unfortunately for me have not panned out like I would have liked. And since then, we have gone across the Northeast. Now, we're going to be going Midwest this coming 2018 season. I want to head more inland. We're going to do less Florida shows, head out. We will return to North Carolina where we were. We were in, we even did some sales in South Carolina, which I want to get back to. We're going to try to hit another Virginia, possibly area like that. I do want to see about hitting Massachusetts and the Boston area. I know Josh Stahl, Bob Sally, and Johnny C are up there, so it'd be great to hang out with them. I got to hang out with Josh Stahl. He actually made a life goal of selling, not only selling Fetish Babies at the table, but between the hours of 10 and 2 o'clock, within 4 hours, I sold every copy I had. And unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of copies on me. I only had 13 copies of Fetish Babies on me. They all sold without a problem. It goes to show you that Fetish Babies is something that people are interested in. So here we are with Aftermath. Aftermath is not going to be sexually charged. It's difficult. And you can see there's my co-creator and wife, Alyssa. There's me in the pictures, the team. This go around, we're introducing a new artist to the tale, and this is just some more stuff that I did. We're introducing Tamara. I don't know how to pronounce it. She is from Siberia, so she is an artist from Siberia. I do digital, concentrated on characters. My style is semi-realism. It's more realistic. I've reached the highest level vocation in the fine arts in the painting department. She's amazing. All right, Leah returns as our editor. This is the team. Satane, of course, launched our book. And we did. I mean, we knew we were going to be trading off from one creator to the other. And there's not a lot of art shown yet. Between everything that went on with Irma, it's been difficult for us. We've only shown the covers. There is a transition between, and you guys saw it a little bit in the video, from Satane's world that she created to this new world that we're in Aftermath. And it almost looks like the world is sort of out of focus. And that's on purpose. When we were doing this, I remember telling the artist, because she said to me, do you want me to copy Satane as closely as I can? And there are moments in the book where, I mean, like, this looks like something right here, in the picture that's on our screen right now. That looks like something Satane did. And there are moments where it's almost, there are definitely shades of Satane, which is why I wanted to show the picture in there. That one looks just like something Satane had done. So there was this great crossover between the two worlds. But we kind of wanted to stay also a little bit away from Satane. We wanted this book to feel different. We wanted to feel different because the first one, the first book that we had, it was all about how she got to a moment. It was introducing you to Barbara. It was showing you the world of fetish. And we wanted to really introduce the energies and the thoughts that go into people with fetishes and how they kind of have to hide who they are. So we get her to that bad point and we leave it at that bad point. And that was on purpose. The original idea was this was going to be a double-sided issue. And Aftermath was going to definitely be important. During making of the Aftermath, we realized that the story had been condensed too much, so we started to expand it. And when all the troubles in Mexico happened, and the artist who we will be unveiling it once we hit 75%, you'll see the cover to the next comic, the next book in the series, which is called, and I'll announce it now, Mentor Search. When we get to that moment where we're going to be talking about Mentor Search is at 75%. But until we get there, we wanted the art in this to be very reminiscent of Satane, but also show its own style. And it's deliberately made to look a little blurrier. I wanted the world to seem out of focus because I honestly think that right now she feels out of focus. I think Barbara she's hurting. It's bad. It's bad for Barbara, and she's hurting. And I've known a lot of people who went through abuse in the BDSM culture. I used to run a group on a site called Vampire Freaks, and I used to see a lot of girls, and I think there's a lot of confusion about what it is. And I remember the first thing that, I used to have girls who would want to be submissive. And I'm like, all right, the first thing, you're submissive, you don't have any rules, right? And they're like, yeah, I wouldn't have any rules. So I was like, okay, so you're going to let anyone do anything you want to them? And they're like, no. And I was like, so then that's your first lesson. There are rules. There has to be rules and limits. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about in this book. We're going to talk about those things that 50 Shades of Grey didn't talk about, and just, the idea that a person really is a slave. And that's more role-playing. In the end of the day, what a dominant is supposed to be doing is taking the submissive party to an edge. It's putting them in a place where they're off balance, but they want to be off balance. It's kind of like why people jump out of a plane. It's the same idea. It's an adrenaline high. And for the dominant, it's the ability to play the human body like an instrument, and being able to get it to move and react the way that the dominant wants the body to react, and the human behind it. And it's about, appreciating and enjoying the time and the power and the connection that the two people have that are playing. So it's a lot that goes into it that a lot of people don't realize. And it's very powerful, to be honest with you. And I mean, as a writer, it was one of those things that I always wanted to write about. And I was inspired. We're going to the New York Comic-Con Creators Connection, and I came up with this idea that I wanted to do something about a bondage because I'd met an artist who did some bondage art, but I was like, I don't want to do something that's tasteless. I don't want to make some stupid comic book just to sell something. I want it to be something moving. And my wife had reminded me that I'd written this long-ass book, a manual, somewhere around the neighborhood of 300 pages. 300 pages of a bondage manual on how to do bondage safely and correctly as best you could. So, and here's the original Chris Matt art, and we just showed the update. So we're definitely staying intact with trying to change it as the book moves on. We're going to do cool things for each project. But I mean, I wrote this book and I hated it. I hated it because it was too cold and clinical. So as me and my wife began to talk, we began to realize that one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to tell a story that made people who aren't into fetish respect people with fetishes. And I set out to do that with this book. And I set out to be able to teach someone without drowning it down their throat. And I wanted to, as we teach, leave it up to the viewer or the reader in this case to decide what fits for them best. Because a lot of times when it comes to fetish, the person has to be comfortable with it. And that's what it comes down to. And I always say, you know, there's the term safe, sane, and consensual. But I also say, in the end of the day, it's about playing safe so no one gets hurt. Because when a dominant makes a mistake, it's the submissive that wears that for the rest of their life on their body or emotionally. And it really is one of those things where the person in charge really has to be checked. And you have to pick the right partners to play with, and it goes both ways. There's a lot of great romances and relationships that are in BDSM, but there are also some bad ones. And that needs to be talked about. And I just wanted to tell a story where we talked about all of it. Unapologetically. We talk about everything about it. So Chris Mad did return at the 500 mark, well, 50% mark. We pushed it to be 50%, and he's here, so it works. Here's the R4AU unit. We're doing the patches on this program. So here's why I'm doing the patches on the program. There are a lot of people who want to support me on Kickstarter, but they don't want to necessarily support the fetish babies. So as you guys will see, I've added tiers that have nothing to do with fetish babies. So if you're a supporter of me, and one of the good things, the Andersin collection is going to be expanded. This week, towards the end of the week, if not early next week, we're releasing all the books that I've been able to line up that are going to be part of this amazing collection of PDFs that you guys can get. It's one of the reward levels. And you can see it's going to be My Fetish Babies. It's going to be Aftermath, the follow-up. It's going to be And They Call Us Monsters, Jax the Andersin, Dark Justice Burns, New York Reporter, which is remastered, and I think it's like something like 60 pages of content, Gothic Blue all lit up, and other creators' books, including some that are on Kickstarter right now that we haven't announced and we're waiting for them to get off Kickstarter. So if you haven't backed it there, you'll be able to get it here. I didn't want to talk about it and bring it on yet until that was done. You can get the Carlos Villas art. We're going to be walking away from 11x17s. Sinsel Comics is walking away from them. We're just not going to reproduce anymore. We're going to be doing 8x10s now. Photos, I believe we're going to go with photos. I like photos. I think they hold better and they're easier to store. I think they look great. There's a great sharpness to photos that you can get even with artwork like this. So we're probably going to go that route. The reason we're walking by 11x17s is not only do I not think that there is necessarily a desire for it anymore, but I think people are also just generally tired of 11x17s. And to give credit to Martin Dunn said it best when he said, hey, the problem with 11x17s is no one's going to fill their walls with nothing but 11x17s. So once you buy a few, you've already ran out. So we're doing the 8x10s as something special that you'll only be able to get on Kickstarter from now on. We're not going to mass produce them. They're not going to be available at our Comic-Con tables. They're going to be tailor-made for the Kickstarters, and that's it. Now, there might be a few that I get, and maybe a Chris Matt will get. And then maybe if me and Chris Matt get a table, we'll do it specially for the table, but we won't do, again, it won't be an 11x17. We'll figure out maybe a different size to do it or something. You know, and that's all now. I'll be honest, we could change everything about that as a market change. If suddenly people like 11x17s or we get requested to do 11x17s, we will. So don't take that as something that's in concrete. I'm not saying I'm never going to do it again. I'm just saying for right now, it's not our goal. But enough about Fetish Babies. As much as I would love to talk about this project and talk more about how this is a project where you can learn about BDSM and also for the first time see a book talk about abuse and how a young woman goes through abuse. And I think that's a powerful thing to talk about, especially as we're seeing all this abuse allegations come out about a famous Hollywood executive and Hollywood actors now. It is time to move on. We're going to talk about pixie dust.
Hello, everybody. This is Russell Nolte, creator of Ichabod Jones' Monster Hunter, Katrina Hates the Dead, and editor of the Monsters and Other Scary Shit anthology. And I'm here to tell you about my new book, Pixie Dust. Pixie Dust is a 100% complete graphic novel about a pixie monster hunter that is betrayed, murdered, sells her soul to the queen of the underworld, and comes back as a zombie to seek revenge on the king that killed her. And that's right, I did say it is 100% complete. Drawn by Nicholas Torres of Godlikes, Faithless, and Franklin and Ghost, Pixie Dust is 88 pages of art and over 20 pages of back matter content, including pinups by Jen Hickman, Rivinus, Angela Fullard, and many, many more. Most importantly, this is the end of my Monster Hunter trilogy that started with Ichabod Jones' Monster Hunter, continued with Katrina Hates the Dead, and now finishes with Pixie Dust. So here's the deal. The book is 100% complete. We've done all 112 pages of interior art and laid it out. All we're looking for is you to help push us over the edge and help get this book printed. If you do that, you're going to get an amazing book. You're going to get a book that's in hardcover, that's so bound in, that's beautiful. I am very, very good at making beautiful books. So I hope you will come in. I hope you will join us. And I hope you love what you see behind here. If you love epic fantasy, if you love Ichabod, if you love Katrina, if you love what we do at Wannabe Press or any of my other books, I promise you, you're going to love this too. This is the culmination of 10 years of my life. So I hope I see you inside the backer wall. And you can always go below and see a lot more information, videos, pictures, and everything else to help you make an informed decision. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold. New York Comic Con always leaves you hurting. But back to Pixie Dust. First off, the format size looks a little different. He doesn't mention the size, but it does not look like your average book. It looks more like a kid's book, like how a kid's book would look. So that's kind of interesting. The art's spot on. The storytelling, I mean, Russell's gotten this reputation for being a grinder for a good reason. He definitely tells a great story. I'm interested to see what's next. I'm in. So I'm very thrilled to be talking about it and supporting it. And when he sets up a Kickstarter, it's almost like a must-have look at if you're a creator to see how he does his Kickstarters. And you guys can see the monsters and other scary shit being given to different people throughout the world. Some names that you might even know that are celebrating it. So he's got a great following, and that's always amazing to see. He makes us proud in the indie comic book creators. Here goes your production costs. The book production was $8,000. Printing is going to be $6,000. Shipping $3,000. Kickstarter fees $1,500. Total $1,900. So that's what his goal is, to make $1,900. This just explains who he is, which is interesting because he talks about it being $1,900. So if he makes $1,900, he doesn't go out of pocket. So right now he's close. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. His math is based on $1,900 in his thing. So there's still time to help him. I'm sure that he's actually in the chat room right now. I just noticed that. I'm sure that, he'd be excited to get that $1,900 because that's where his math has been laid out. So just because you've seen it's funded, don't walk away. I hate that. People see that someone's on Kickstarter and that they've already funded. That doesn't mean you walk away. It doesn't mean you don't support it. You support a creator until the minute it's done. It's about believing in the project. I don't care if they're $5,000 from goal in the last day or if they're $5,000 above. If you believe in the creator, you back them. So, I mean, he's got 22 more days to go. Let's get him to 19,000. Let's get him to 22,000. Let's get him to 25,000. Keep sharing this. These projects are important, especially from guys like Russell who are helping people. I mean, understand that as you're supporting him, you're also supporting all the good work he does on the outside of it. And we've showcased him as a creator. We've spotlighted because he's an amazing guy who always helps other people. So this is about supporting great creators. And then he says, Russell also says, almost everybody I know is out of pocket at least a little when they fund, and that's true. And I don't understand that mentality. A lot of us come to Kickstarter and we give you a number. It's not a number that, like, this is how it's going to pay for my house. This is not what Russell's doing. Russell's not paying for his house with these books. Russell isn't buying cars with the money on this book. You know, when he does have extra, I'm sure it just goes into another project if he has extra. A lot of us don't make a lot of profits, if any. I've never made a profit off of it. When I go, it's just for the cost of the printing. I've never made a penny off of Kickstarter. And I'm sure if Russell makes even $1, it somehow goes back in. And he even says right now, he says it's true. These launches fund all my other stuff, including his podcasts. And those podcasts help inform fellow creators. So I want you to understand that when you're supporting people like Russell, you're doing this amazing job of keeping creation going. And he didn't make a profit until the Monster Anthology. And that means that you have to understand Russell, Bob Sally, myself, Johnny C., Josh Stahl, Dirk Manning, Victor Dandridge, we're all grinders. And it goes on. You got Casey Pierce, Travis from Source Point Press. His last name eludes me at the moment. These are grinders, man. These are people who didn't just show up today. Like Russell said, this is his 6th project. Everyone works their ass off to get where it's to the point where being able to, I mean, he's making $18,000 on a project with a 15,000 goal. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's not a lot. You got to go out and you got to go grind with it. Printing a book doesn't mean anything other than you can now put something in a warehouse. Russell doesn't do that. Russell goes to shows. He goes to the most amount of shows out of everyone I've currently watched, cover, and with Written Sins notice. He's always at a show. Dirk Manning's close. Victor Dandridge are close to him. But when it comes to going shows, I don't think there's anyone who goes to as many shows as Russell. And I've heard other creators say that. So it's not just me noticing it. And the ambitious just grow every time. And it's true. And you know, Russell's honest. Russell's an honest creator. He tells people as it is. I mean, you got people like, you know, I could tell you the 10 names off the top of my head who are indie comics and helping indie comics, and Russell's at the top of the list. You know what I mean? And he is the embodiment of what indie comics is. He tells the stories he wants to tell, and he finds his market. So when you see, and I want to stress this, whether a person's funded or not funded, do not stop helping and supporting them. I mean, it's just that simple. It's about supporting creators. And that's how Kickstarter is supposed to be, and that's what it is. And I'll give Russell credit. And I know he's on, and he says thanks. That's so nice. It's not nice. It's honest. And a lot of people mistake me for being nice when I'm just being honest. And that's not that I don't like Russell. I actually do like Russell. He's been on the show, and we talk all the time. It's that I respect the shit out of people like Russell who grind. I love grinders, and I love people who keep up. And he does it, man. This is, I mean, just another amazing project after a great project with Monsters. Monsters was amazing to watch. So, I mean, I know he takes it very serious, and he's someone that if you look at his tiers, he's always offering something. He's offering more than he has to offer. He's trying to give you guys, and he'll say it, he tries to give you value. He wants everyone who backs him to walk away feeling like they're important. And I think that's great. And I've looked at that, and I've changed how I do my Kickstarters based on that model. I didn't do a great job with Then They Call Us Monsters. I tried to be too much of a value guy. But he has inspired me, and he's one of the people who inspire me. He inspires Written Sins to be better, where he's someone that I've talked to about quality and quality on our site. And I do listen to Russell. So, you know, it is amazing to see creators like Russell continue to show that growth is possible in indie comics. So when I hear people say it is so hard, all I hear them saying is I'm not willing to put in. Because I've also seen Russell struggle, and I've seen Russell do the grind and the hustle to get him where he is. So, you know, this is determination. This is, and he talks about it on his own podcast, how he's struggled, and he's honest. So, I mean, when you're backing this project, which I actually do have to back, and that's because I haven't backed it on this. I think I backed it on my my wife's, but I'm going to be backing it too. When you're backing creators like him, you're backing the future of creation, and he's going to be a name in indie comics. Even when he breaks through and goes to the other side, he's probably going to be a Marvel guy or a DC guy and help them out and make them better. Maybe Dark Horse. I could definitely see Russell going to Dark Horse even. When he goes to one of those bigger companies, he'll still be indie in his heart, and he'll still look back and help guys. So that's what it is. Russell's the type of guy that you support him, you're supporting more than a book. You're supporting the essence of indie creators, same as Dirk Manning at the end of the week, which we'll be probably doing a special video on. And, you know, we've all talked about Cald and Alter Life. These are the creators you want to do. And Russell says, it is hard. Life is hard. I can't overstress how hard it is. But you just have to keep going. And it's true. It's true. I mean, if you're an indie comic book creator and you're not having moments of reflection where you're like, wow, can this actually be possible? If I keep going, am I going to make it? Then you're not being honest with yourself in those moments. And because you need those moments, you need to realize how hard it is. And you need to look it in the eye and you need to be like, fuck it, I'm going to make this work. And then you have to be genuine. And I say that all the time. And I see a lot of creators try so hard to mimic other people when they're not being genuine. And that's the great thing about Russell. No matter what Russell says, what he's talking about, he's genuine. He's honest. That's how he feels. And if you don't agree with him, he'll shrug his shoulders and say, okay. And that's what's inspiring him. I don't see Russell being one of those people who's like, you have to do it this way. He'll be like, all right, do it your way. Cool. Have fun. So it is really great to support creators like Russell. He says, you know, this as well as anybody. The last 2 months have sucked. The campaign is light at the end of the ash of the 2 months of shit. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the last 2 months. I mean, everyone has struggled, you know, and you know, Russell has had success, but he's also had his ups and downs. We all do. And what's important isn't, and Russell's the embodiment of this. It's not about where you've been, it's about where you're going, and Russell's going up. So support his Kickstarter. When I get off, I'm actually gonna go ahead and back it on this thing, but I'm also gonna show you guys. Yep, exactly, but you just keep going. It's exactly right. But as always, I'm gonna show you guys how easy it is to share this. I backed this amazing project. Join me on the pledge list. Write something like that. Make sure you spelled it right. I actually spelled it right. And then you just post to Facebook. And now you've supported a creator. And you can do the same thing with Twitter. And you can even email your friends now. So, I mean, just do it. Get out there. Be supportive of great creators. Russell, thank you for stopping in. I know you're a busy guy. We're going to move on to Ace Blade 3. But, I mean, if you're not following Russell, now is the time to do it. He was in the comments section of the Facebook group. Go friend him and follow him. He will teach you things, and he will educate you about the shit that you need to know that you don't realize. And he's going to make sure that you realize that this is a business. If you're making comics, you're getting into business. If you don't want to make comics and be in a business, make a webcomic, because webcomics aren't generally a business. They're a way of doing art, and then have someone pay you, I guess, to make a comic in your mind. But if you're going to make a comic, you need to follow Russell. Russell's got amazing stuff. He has that group, Money and Authors, How to Make Money with Authors. It's on Facebook. I'm in it. It's great stuff all the time. He's always on it. So follow him. And back the damn Kickstarter. Stop being cheap. All right, let's talk about Ace Blade 3.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, Danny J. Quick. Listen, I know what you're saying right now. Ace Blade number 3, I don't know anything about this Ace Blade 2. Don't even worry about it. Ace Blade number 1, Ace Blade number 2, absolutely free right now on our website. Ace Blade number 3, we're trying to get all of these books in the comic book stores, and we need your help. We don't have the network, we don't have the access to be able to do it, but we know that you guys know comic book store owners, people who love comic books, who can get them in the stores for us. So that's what we're trying to do. We want to get these 3 books in the stores, and we got one more coming before the whole saga is finished. This Kickstarter is going to be the last chance that you can get the first edition print of Ace Blade number 2, which includes the first appearance of Ace Blade. Bam. So if you know comics, you know that might be important way down the line. You might want to get you a copy of those right there. This 3rd book is going to be super dope. We got Wally McNair drawing it for us. It's going to be crazy. Look, that's it. That's all I got for you right now. We're giving away, if you want to get caught up, we're giving away the first 2 books while this Kickstarter is going for absolutely free over on our website. All you got to do is go down to the bottom of the page and put in your email address and your name, and we'll send you the first 2 comics digitally for free. And you can catch up, and then you'll know what everything that's going on in the book. Yo, I really appreciate you checking this out. Catch you next time.
Now, Danny Quick is someone I actually got to hang out with and meet over in Raleigh, SuperCon, which I can't wait to get back to. That's in North Carolina. Very energetic guy. That's not just for the video. He's got that kind of energy. You can see the beautiful green eyes of the character, just wonderfully done. It's an interesting, I got to hear more about it. I don't know what I should say other than it's fascinating. I think it's an interesting story, and I think that the Skull Kids is just kind of cool. You know, there's some great things. Here's another great Kickstarter. Cool purple shirts. Let's see where he is. I know he's got some good hustle. Yeah, so he's 1100. I actually should ask him how he should do that. Maybe I should ask him to do a video for me and promote me. Because he's doing a lot better than I'm doing on my Kickstarter. So maybe I need to reach out to him and have him tell me some tips. But kidding around aside, it is really cool what he does. Ace Blade's cool. I've seen him blowing up on social media. He's very interactive. I kind of like the art in this and how like the back frame becomes part of it. And we were talking about how in my Kickstarter Aftermath, the art was important. Like in the world looked fuzzy because she felt fuzzy, because she felt like her fetishes have been taken away from her. So I do think that's powerful, and I think it's meaningful. So I think that the art, you could tell with Danny, is definitely a choice, and they're doing things to make them fascinating. So Ace Blade looks like a comic to back. I know we're running out of time. We're a little long, so we're going to move on to check out Where's Spider?
Hi, my name is Greg Anderson Elise, and I am the writer and creator of Is Nana the Web Spider? Last year, thanks to great support from people like you, I was able to debut Is Nana, the son of Anansi the spider from the West African god of stories. The book has been met with great acclaim, new fans, and supporters throughout the year. And now I'm ready to present the next chapter of Anansi and Is Nana's adventures, The Hornet's Web. In this chapter, Is Nana's determination to uphold his responsibilities continues as he must face against Queen Umbara and her forces of killer hornets, wasps, and bees, while Anansi must come to terms with the fact that his son is growing to become his own person. Continuing on from the last volume, I'm hoping to bring more stories and characters of African diaspora into Is Nana's mythology. Joining this chapter is Daryl Tao, with Lee Maluski returning on colors, Joshua Kozine on letters and production, and returning once again, Walt Msanza-Barner on the cover. The majority of the book has already been paid for and produced. We are hoping to raise money for printing and merchandise, along with reprints of Volume 1, which is currently sold out. We have tiers and rewards ranging from pinups, It's Nana the Wear Splattered pins, t-shirts, and also a custom Funko Pop. If we exceed our goal, the extra money will go to a 40-page additional story illustrated by Walter Austin, the artist of Volume 1, featuring crossovers with other indie properties such as Sugar Bureau, Ajala, Madison Ovenland, Bounce, Bardock the Wanderer, Day Black, and Princess Love Pond, each drawn by their creators. The success of last year has proven that outside of the mainstream, there is an audience for these types of stories from different cultures, with characters of all different types of shades and colors. Let's see if we can do it again. Thank you.
All right, so we want to talk about diversity. Here's the diverse title, and here's diversity done right. So diversity, I think, gets a little bit of a bad rap in the way that people feel like it's being shoved down people's throats. I think that what it should be called instead of diversity is representation. I think representation is a better way to look at it. You have comic book creators who want to see worlds that they know with people that look like them. It's not hard to understand that. And I think when it comes to diversity, we spend too much time trying to make people that are pre-established into something they're not to appease them, instead of going to creators in the indie market who do an amazing job creating these amazing characters that are diverse. This is diversity here in indie comics. They could literally, I could see this character becoming part of Marvel or DC if they were smart enough. This is an amazing character. So here's a way to be diverse, to go shopping in indie comics, and they're just missing it. But for now, you, the amazing sinners and followers of us, you guys know better. You know where to find the great content. You know the diversity that lives in indie comics. And this is one of those titles, like, you want to talk about being diverse, you want to talk about supporting diverse titles. This is one of those titles that is very diverse and is bringing to life new worlds that challenge the imagination and show us a different side of the planet and different idealisms than we would normally see in a normal comic. And that's what it is, representation of other ways of thinking and possibly heritage. So back this if you honestly believe in diversity. This is a title to back. Let's see about Red Tide.
Hey guys, I'm Bill. I'm a milkman from Maine, as you can see by my uniform and milk crate backdrop. I'm here to talk to you about my comic project, Red Tide. I hope you enjoy the presentation, and I hope you'll consider backing us. Thank you. For generations, Trevor Alley's family have been fishermen living on the island of Buck's Head, Maine. That all changed with the coming of the red tide, a toxic algal bloom that affects all of the shellfish it touches. The island's economy crashed. Most of the islanders left, but some refused to leave. In order to save their home and preserve the only life they've ever known, Trevor and his godfather Abel made a deal with the devil. Using their fishing boats, they began distributing heroin throughout Maine and Canada. Business was booming. Soon, Trevor and Abel ran a small heroin empire and began to revitalize the island. But when tragedy strikes and Abel's son goes missing, it begins a series of events that can undo everything they built and doom Buck's Head Island forever. Red Tide started as a short story, but since then we've taken the concept and turned it into a 6-issue miniseries. With revised scripts and updated art, Red Tide is better than ever. Your money will go toward paying the team for their hard work and for the printing costs that come with distributing the book to as many people as we can. All of the tiers offer a great value for your pledge, no matter the price. For only $1, you will receive the entire first issue as a digital download. So even if you pledge the minimum, you still get to enjoy the full book. From there, the tiers are set up so that you receive the previous tier's rewards. So if you spend $8 to get the physical copy of the book, you'll also get all of the rewards from before that mark. With this setup, we hope that all of our backers are getting the value they deserve from their pledge. That concludes the video. Thank you very much for watching.
So that's kind of cool. So the reward tiers are self-perpetuating, whereas if you back number, let's say 16, you get everything below it, I believe he's saying. So you get the right trading card. It's interesting. I just hope it doesn't backfire on him, because most of us who have ran a Kickstarter knows that some of this stuff can wind up becoming costly. So I would just ask for details on certain of it. Augmented, we saw that Kickstarter recently. Grimoire is new to me. I've never seen it. The art in this is kind of cool. Rapid Eye, we know that one. That's Bobby Torres's property. And you got some stretch goals down here, but not a lot of stretch goals. The stretch goal will be for $4,000. Will be a motion comic of issue 1. The rest is a surprise. So stay tuned for that. You got the creative team back here. Bunch of great guys, and that is Red Tide. Follow the wave.
I'm old now. My mind is clouded as the depths of the sea I once sailed. My memories are mixed and jumbled. I can hardly tell the good from the bad anymore. There is still one period of my life that is clear to me, a time that, though I wish I could forget, haunts my soul to this very day. So I will tell you the story, a tale of love and adventure, a tale of misery and death. I tell you now the story of Captain Travis and his quest for the revenge on the great kraken that brought down his love's ship, the Follow the Wave.
It's kind of a cool video. The one thing I love about this project has got to be hands down the art in the project. It's just absolutely stunning. I mean, check some of this art out. The detail in it, the way that it looks is just impressive beyond compare. We have, let's see, the production and printing costs. Just check that out. So it's definitely an interesting project. They're close to getting their goal, about 700 with 20 days to go. I mean, the art, it's just beautiful. It's breathtaking. It's actually why I'm being a little silent. I love the art in this. Cabin boy level. They've got funny reward things here. You can be a ship's captain, which I believe means you can make an appearance, or a watercolor painting of a character. So that's fantastic. This looks like it's a great, and it's a one shot, so it's not an ongoing series. So definitely fascinating. I'm thrilled to be part of promoting this one. I loved it the first time around. When it went, sadly, it didn't fund. I'm hoping this time we can get it to fund. We have one more to go on the show today. We wanted to introduce Michael Metlin to Kickstarter. Here we go. This is Michael Metlin.
We all rather breaking point, but the question becomes, how far do we reach fast? Until instead it becomes no different than being inside. Michael Mellin's Butch the Butcher Part 1. In circa 1950s, Bob's man named Butch opens a deli and Butcher shop with a loan from the mob. After not being able to pay the debt, the mob takes another form of pain. Butcher's world soon becomes hell. This is all said, becoming deranged in Saigon. Butcher's no longer human until the mission. He carries no emotion, no conscience, and no sign of remorse. His heart and soul of black hole. The butch is not butching woman. Butch is now the butcher. And the mob is the meat on the
So, I mean, the art in this is kind of outstanding. I'm a big fan of it. It's a little graphic. Perfect timing with Halloween being here. It's an interesting story about a butcher from Brooklyn. Kind of loses his shit, decides to take on the world in his own way. It is Michael Metlin's Butch the Butcher. It's a 20-page long story written by Michael Metlin. The pencils and ink are by him. The pages are completed of color by Federico Pepito Succo Jr. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. It's 15 completed pages of letters by Mike Mavardo. You have cover art by Brian Silverbacks, and the money raised for Michael Metlin's Butcher will be for part 1 of the 4-part miniseries. The comics to be printed in physical copies. The info, since the story takes place in 1952's, in circa 1952, the comic book is in the 4-part miniseries will be printed like those 50s modern comics. Comic book size, meaning it'll be more like a magazine size. It'll be a little bigger. The comic book will be printed on newspaper print like classic comics of the Silver Age. This will not only make the comic book fit the era, but it'll be written as a 4-part miniseries. Extremely unique since the vast majority of comics are on glossy or modern day standard print. It's interesting. Pay for the rewards will be mailed out. Rewards to be mailed out, such as getting posters printed and signed. You're paying for the colors, paying for the lettering. If any money is left over, it'll go for issue number 2. So, I mean, the art is great in it. It looks like an interesting story. I love the setup of the Kickstarter. Michael Metlin is new with Butch, but remember, he also did Kane. He's got 7 backers already. So I'm a backer. I did the PDF. I might go up a little higher because of Irma. We're a little off with everything, and we're still waiting for insurance adjusters. So I'm hoping to be able to increase my pledge as I encourage all of you guys to do it. Michael Metlin's going to be on for 26 days. We're going to be talking more about him. Maybe we can even get him on a spoken sentence really soon. So we're going to go back over the program today, and we're going to talk about the different projects. We're going to just go down the list one last time. So the 4th Monkey is now on Kickstarter for the remainder of the week. Make sure that you back the 4th Monkey, as it's 20 different stories, 20 different, okay, it's 100 pages, 20 creators, 8 stories, not 30 creators. I was saying that wrong. It's 20 creators with 8 stories about environmental and social issues. And there you can see it. I was getting that wrong. I was saying 30. It's 20. My apologies. No Road Home. This is The Dawn's Early Light. Join a group of teens as they see a post-apocalyptic American Renaissance for the first time. Sword, spells, monsters, and mutants. And then war is hell. You can join Chess and Cerebrus Dual Kickstarter. Support Veterans Life by supporting Veterans Wife. Also, you can support autism with the Autistic Jedi patch to show your support. Fetish Babies is back with Aftermath. See what happens at the end, what happened after the end of the last issue, and pick up Chris Mad's exclusive art today. Pixie Dust is an epic hardcore graphic novel, a fantasy hardcore graphic novel, epic fantasy hardcover, not hardcore graphic novel. I've been talking for too long. Ace Blade 3, The Undercard, Beware of the Were Spider, now on Kickstarter. Kickstarter Talk. Always make sure to excuse me, watch the entire video, see everything that's going on, and don't forget to catch the red tide, follow the wave, and go to the butcher with Michael Metlin. Oh, we didn't actually get to cover this, so we're going to quickly cover this before we're on a wrap. PIS, this is how we'll end the show watching this video. Here we go. So now, if that doesn't get you sold, I don't know what will. This is an amazing project. There was a mini story, if you guys remember, back in an issue from the Evolutionine line. This is now coming up, and for an early bird special, you guys can get the Night, which is amazing, by the way, and a printed copy of that. You also get cell phone wallpaper, special edition PDF, posters, and custom pop figures. The team is my friend Guido Martinez, Winston Palacio, Scott Foster, Christopher Denny. The risks and challenges are the book is nearly done. We have to just ship everything to you, so there are low risks. This has been Kickstarter Talk. Thank you for joining us. We will be back on air with a special edition this weekend as we introduce two, I believe Alter Life is this weekend, and Dirk Manning returns on Friday the 13th. We'll be live to talk about it. We'll see you later.